Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Patti Pais here at Vision with another installment of the Uplift just for you. All of you. Let's pray in. Giving great thanks, always up front, always to remain in gratitude for everything the day is right up to this moment. We always stay in gratitude for the day, for the sunshine, for the water, for the warmth of the day. Even if it's a little too warm in places, we are still grateful. Grateful for our homes, for transportation, for our ability to stay sheltered, to go out and get what we need and come back, for all of the good, for all of the food and the drink and the family and the company. We are so grateful for life itself right here, right now, knowing that all life is some part of the life of God's. We are whole, complete, we are blessed. We give great thanks. And so it is. Amen. So good afternoon. Happy Labor Day Monday to you. Yeah, I know. Where'd the summer go, right? I was thinking about that yesterday. It really doesn't feel like we've had a summer at all with all the sheltering at home. But, you know, there'll be next summer, right? Staying safe, staying healthy right now, staying indoors, staying sheltered, staying away from people, using your mask, doing all the right things will get us through this pandemic, and it'll be in our rearview mirror. So, thank you for staying at home, and thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Uplift, knowing that, you know, when we come together, even electronically like we are now, that it is uplifting, that we do share heart to heart. We know that there is no separation in spirit. So, with that said, I'm going back to my favorite inspirational book myself, 365 Science of Mind. This is a wonderful devotional that Ernest Holmes wrote for every day of the year. It's a wonderful essay for each and every day. And so I wanted to go to today's, September 7th. And remember, we're in the month in the Science of Mind magazine of Facing Our Fears. So this was just so totally appropriate for our monthly theme as well. I thought I would share this with you. So today, Ernest Holmes said, I receive divine strength into my being. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. And that is, of course, from Psalm 121:1. And Ernest Holmes says this, we tend to become like that with which we identify ourselves. It is only as we let go of the lesser can we take hold of the greater. Only as we drop confusion can we enter peace. If we would transcend doubt and fear, we must lift up our thought into the spiritual hills of the inner life. And that's the first paragraph. And I just wanted to talk about that for a moment because what Ernest Holmes is saying is a lot of symbolism, you know, and you will read that in the Bible as well. It's that same symbolism. Every time they talk about going up, you know, when Jesus and the disciples went into the upper room, you know, to take the meal. When Moses went up into the hill to get the Ten Commandments. Every time there is this symbolism of going up, we know they are referring to our consciousness. We are going up in consciousness. We are raising our consciousness. We are removing our thoughts from the physical world. And we're raising them up to cause, to that one mind, which we know is the mind of God, which we all have our minds within. But we are consciously moving our thought upward so that we can grasp onto the highest thought about any condition. So that's what they talk about all the time when they talk about going up into the mountain, going up to the hill, going up to the upper room, whatever it is. Every time they talk about, you know, lifting their eyes. Emma Curtis Hopkins was always saying, what? Look up all the time. Because when we look up, we can realize that higher consciousness in ourselves. We can realize that there is infinite possibility. When we're all doing this sad sack thing, when we're down like this, you know, and eyes are cast down, we cannot feel viscerally, we cannot feel the feelings of potential, the feelings of being in the mind of spirit, right? Because we're down here and we're all caught in the mud, we're caught in the clay of the physical world, and we can't even entertain a new thought when all we're doing is casting our eyes down here. So we're told to look up. In the Bible, we're told to be up, to be in that upper room, to be at the mountaintop, to be in the higher elevations. And Emma says, look up. Joel Goldsmith says, to go to source, to go to God. And it's always about this idea of looking up. And is there fear there? No, of course not. Of course not. There can't be. We can look here at this level, we can look at the physical challenges, we can look at the conditions all we want to. And Ernest Holmes never said to deny the conditions, right? He never said that. He said that reality is what it is. Everything, what did he say? Is as real as it ought to be, is what he said. Everything is as real as it ought to be. But it's not the truth, which is totally different. So when we lift our gaze, when we lift our eyes up, we are looking toward the spiritual viewpoint of any physical condition we might be confronting. So let me go on to the second paragraph. It says, it is said that Jesus went up to the mount to deliver the most famous sermon ever given to the world. We too must go up to the mount if we would rise above the little things that bother us. We must identify ourselves with the greatness of spirit if we would breathe in its mighty power. Too long we have identified ourselves with that which is small, insecure, and uncertain. Now we must permit our consciousness, through faith, to rise to a greater and deeper realization of the divine presence, forever delivering its nature to us. We must keep watch in the tower of our minds. Consciously, we must identify the self with its source. And that source, of course, is spirit. So again, rising up, right? Going up to the mount, going up to the high place, going up to the upper room. Every time we read this, we know we are being asked to raise up our thinking. Think beyond the condition. Think through the condition. I love that. Ernest Holmes said that, that we think through the condition. We can see it. We can see the reality of it. But we still know it's a condition, and all conditions change. Only truth is eternal. Only spirit is eternal. Conditions change. And so while we don't deny the conditions, and Ernest Holmes never said that we should, he never said deny the conditions or turn our back on them, I'm not here and it's not hot. We don't go into denial about them, but he said see through them. See through them for really, truly what they are. And what they are just conditions. They have no truth. They are simply an outpicturing of a false idea at a particular point in time. But he never said to deny them. He never said to turn away from them. He did say to turn away in prayer. When we are ready to go to prayer, that's when we turn away from conditions. When we are ready, when we have readied ourselves to go into that 5-step prayer treatment, then, he said, yes, turn away, because we're going within. We are occupying the space of cause at that moment. And that's when he said to turn away. That's when he said turn away from the condition. In prayer, but not in the physical world when we're dealing with it. We have to deal with it. There may be something for us to do at the level of the physical. But when we go into prayer, we must go to the absolute. We have to go to the absolute. And here's the interesting thing, because in the absolute, what do we know? We know there is no problem. We know there is no problem in God. There is no challenge in God. There is no discord in God. There is no disease in God. There is no less than in God. There is nothing for us to take into prayer to try to overcome. There's nothing for us to take into prayer to try to fix, right? That's not where we fix things. In prayer, we know truth. We align with truth. We absolutely turn away from the condition in prayer and go straight for truth. Go right for the eternal truth of God and all of the God qualities. So whatever we're praying about, whether it's our health or our finances or our home or our loved one, whatever it is we are going to prayer on behalf of, when we are in prayer, we must know only God. We must know only good. That's when we turn away. That's when we have our eyes lifted. That's when there is only God. Because that's what we're praying from. That's what we're praying with. That's what we're praying into. Because there is nothing else. When we're in prayer, there is nothing else. There is only cause. There is only spirit. And we are directing the law, which is an aspect of spirit, on our behalf to change conditions at this level, right? So when we come out of prayer, conditions change. Conditions change because we have given the space necessary for spirit to flow into the condition to change it. We have relinquished our earthly control to spirit to allow spirit to change it, to change the condition, to change the circumstance, right? We're not doing it. We are being the space where spirit can easily, effortlessly, and without hindrance flow through us, changing the conditions around us. Let's finish up with the third paragraph. Ernest Holmes says, "Today I guard my thought and speech. I keep my consciousness steadfast with the realization that there is a spiritual power and strength upon which all people may call. If confusion enters, I shall repudiate it. I turn resolutely to that divine source that knows no confusion, to that spiritual center within me that knows no fear." And what a perfect way to end this particular essay, right? To really grasp that there is no fear in God. There isn't. I can take my fear into that prayer, but when I go to cause, there is no fear there. I have to release it. I must release it. I'm called upon spirit to release any false beliefs, any false thoughts, any belief in lack and limitation, any belief in less than, any belief that I'm going to prayer to fix anything. I'm not going into prayer to fix anything. Everything is perfect in God. Everything is perfect in God. My health is perfect in God. My finances are perfect in God. My home is perfect in God. My loved ones are perfect in God. And what I'm doing in prayer is I'm surrendering to that perfection. And I'm allowing myself to be big enough to allow spirit to flow through me into the conditions and to reveal that perfection, to reveal that perfection of my health or of my finances or of my loved ones or of my home or of my car, whatever. To allow spirit to do the work that it's supposed to do, to allow spirit to do the work that it is supposed to do. And what is that? Revealing truth. That's all it does, is reveal truth. It doesn't fix anything either. There's nothing to fix. When we unite, when we align, when we absolutely surrender the condition, the level of effect, when we absolutely surrender it to spirit, we know spirit just fills the space with itself, fills the space with love, with joy, with wholeness, with unity. It fills the space with itself. And what we know is it just flows. It flows freely. So yeah, we look at the condition when we're at the level of the condition. We might even be concerned about it. We might even take that concern a little bit into prayer with us, but we leave it there. We let it go there. And we align with spirit. We co-create with spirit from the point of perfection. From the idea that there is nothing in God to fix. There is nothing in God to overcome. There is nothing in spirit that has to be healed. There is only the revelation of the truth that God is we are, and so it is, right? Let's go to prayer. Today I know that my mind is a point in God's mind. Today I know that I speak the truth from the level of cause, that God is the truth and God is all there is. And that I know that my life is some part of the life of God's. I know that everyone's life is some part of the divine life of God's. I know that Spirit flows through us freely, as we turn to Spirit and say yes, as we surrender the smaller self to the absolute, to the greater expression of God as us. I know we allow Spirit to flow freely through our experience, through our lives, through our bodies, through everything around us, to raise it up, to demonstrate wholeness, to demonstrate health, to demonstrate abundance, to demonstrate joy, and to demonstrate love. I give great thanks for this. I know this is the way it works. I know love points the way always. I know law makes the way possible, and I know that we surrender to that greater experience of God and allow it to be us in the world. And so it is. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have this ability, to have this technology, to be able to reach out across the miles. From my heart to yours, Vision, we are absolutely one. We are a community of diversity. I loved that. One of our dear practitioners said that yesterday, and it just stuck with me, and I keep saying it. We're a community of diversity, not divisiveness. I love that, don't you? We are one, Vision. I'm sending great love to you all. I will see you tomorrow on another edition of The Uplift. Bye-bye.